Friday the 8th of November 2019, and since the clocks have turned back I will likely be doing a few more local walks, A, because of the time constraints, B, to save a bit of money on train fares. So slight variation to the past now with the Saturday Walkers Club walks. Today's is in Central Bedfordshire, not far from where I live, doing a Chicksands Circular. Chicksands being a former American base. You can Google that. It's a cold, grey, breezy day, not far above freezing to be honest. It has been raining, but hopefully there won't be any more of that. This walk's about 10 miles, should be done around 4 PM, and this bike park, I must say, is surprisingly busy, bearing in mind the conditions I've just described. Like myself, these guys are not fair weathered. Right, 11:30, let's press on. Oh yes, one thing I must say is that this walk is thanks to North Herts Ramblers group. It's one of their e-walks which can be downloaded from their website. First death of the day. Looks like a decomposed lamb there, or sheep. Just passing through the oddly named hamlet of Dead Man's Cross, and there's an old Fordson tractor. Opposite a nicely decorated Indian restaurant. Just by this bus stop here. See, we're on the Greensand Ridge Walk. Where we take a left. Information panel here about said walk and the village of Haynes. Pretty bland open countryside up here at the moment. Not my favourite type of scenery because it's so destructive to wildlife. No hedges, fields ploughed in early unnecessarily, so on and so forth. Ignore this left turn here at this footpath post. Continue on towards the village of Haynes. Ignore the Greensand Ridge left turn here. Continue straight on the public footpath. Don't go that way. Do go this way as it gets a bit cloudier. Possible drop of rain coming. Hope not. Passing the community garden with its memorial to the war dead, which of course is this weekend. Village hall on my right. Nice thatched cottage over there as the sun breaks out. Interesting church. Note the association with John Bunyan, who frequented this area. That, as you can see, is the mission hall. Not sure what denomination that indicates, possibly Jehovah's. Do a left at this junction. Down Plummer's Lane. Then a quick right into Park Palin's Walk. Then a left between fences and a high hedge. Then come out into open countryside with a decent bit of autumn colour over there. And a large country pad over there on the right. Wonder what that is. Yeah, probably offices now by the looks of it, or a private hospital perhaps. Anyway, once a prominent house. Bench here on my right to enjoy the vista. Not today though. Further views on my left of the woodland I left earlier. Built mainly, I believe, to shield Chicksands. Interesting name, Chicksands. Onward journey straight ahead here. Incidentally, today I'm using a GPS track. So the beauty of them is you can join it at any point, which I have done, and do it in any direction. View back to the village of Haynes up on the hill there. Hardly a hill, but up on the ridge. Now a pleasant tree-lined section. Plenty of autumn colour in here from the sycamore. Little bit of road walking here. There are a few cars and lorries coming up and down, I notice. Okay, by this barn called Silver Birches. There's a public bridleway. Take that. Away from the road. This says new route, so whether the GPS, which was done in 4 years ago, follows that, I'll soon find out. Could have problems otherwise. Pleasant enough views on my left, and even more so now that the sun's come out. Lovely. Don't think that was forecast, as usual by the Met Office. Can't seem to get it right from hour to hour, as I continually moan. Bedfordshire Council's pretty famous for its yellow top posts, whilst Hertfordshire uses white. Both of the kissing gates are new, again a reflection of the good work done by Ripple, which is the acronym for the Ramblers repair service, I believe, in Bedfordshire. Very good they are. As is the farmer, marking the way ahead. Looks like I'm one of the first to utilise these tractor wheels, and that's all it takes. You know, some farmers don't bother. Doesn't take much though, does it, while they're ploughing the field, just to put a few tractor, especially the size of them wheels now, put a few tractor tyre marks across the field. All helps. You can tell this farmer's a decent chap though, because he's got a fair amount of set aside. So one of the more environmentally conscious ones. Goes around the outside as well, the edge of the field. Careful here, I nearly missed this footbridge, which is what you take and then do a right. Don't continue straight ahead. And that bridge is extremely slippy. Could do with some chicken wire on it, to be honest with you. Another cluster of mushrooms. No idea what they are though. Wonderful to see. Almost as important as bees in the big scheme of things, in keeping us humans going. Yeah, and it's all getting destroyed by man, eh? Terrible. Interesting pellet there of some description. Wonder if that's an owl. Oops, got a bit too close. Can't imagine what else would leave it on a post like this. A bit large though, isn't it? So here you have the Greensand cycleway, and the track takes you left up the lane here. That's a way. But as you can see, that public footpath opposite takes you to the same point anyway. So maybe in times gone by the field was muddy and they decided to go up the lane a tad, but I'm going to continue following that public footpath. So if you go left up the lane a couple of 100 yards, you'll come to that chain link fence, and then you can walk up to the point I'm at anyway. Not particularly inspiring scenery at the moment. Lots of early ploughed fields. Still, we're now entering a conservation area, I believe, but it says no public access. It's better check the GPS. Indeed, that is correct. The ongoing route, unfortunately, is across this muddy field, as indicated by the Jeep wheel marks by the looks of it. Well done, farmer. Decent vista on my left over there, as we can see the TV mast at Sandy Heath, I believe, in the far distance. Nice autumn colours there. Lots of birds popping up out of this nitrogen plant. Not sure what it is. Larks, I think, mainly. Another vast expanse of field to cross. At least the path is not in the mud though. Probably the line of a former hedgerow, no doubt though. Interesting old church over there. When I was planning this walk, obviously I was looking for one for lunch, but I don't think that's the one at Clophill, which is slightly off the route. Could be a redundant one. It's getting around lunchtime now, mind, so I'll keep my eyes peeled. Just as I come out of Old Kiln Lane, bit of an orchard over there, which is always nice to see. Now doing a left here, back on the Greensand Way, I believe. Yeah, so there's the goat, well, it's a deer, isn't it, I think, that they use, Munkjack, as a symbol of the Greensand Ridge Walk. There's that old ruin again. Interesting, I hope I pass that. Good, at this juncture, take the Greensand Ridge Walk as opposed to the public footpath, which is down the side of the field and does go up past the church, which could make possible lunchtime stop. Views back down the quarry, sorry, back down the valley towards the quarry. A very strange kissing gate here. You can hardly get through it. I'm quite slim. Terrible. That needs changing, particularly as it's on a busy walk like the Greensand Ridge, or the Greensand Way, sorry. Okay, some free advertising here because I like the concept. Clophill Eco Lodges. Very good. Lovely. Whole heap of things going on here. The warden's got a nice home. Excellent. Wonderful English heritage. St Mary's Old Church. You can Google that if you're so inclined. Let's get in there and have some lunch, I think, before the rain comes by the looks of it. Fantastic. About halfway around the walk as well. Perfect positioning. Some information panels over there. Let's go and have a nose. There we go. Now this is an interesting development, particularly as the government are about to introduce licences for drones, which I totally agree with. I don't think my photography is commercial, but yeah, a bit heavy-handed. So the other notice panel was about the history around us. This one's about the geology. Greensand country, poetry and peace. Path. Which will be that. Which appears to be made up of a load of headstones. Information panel here about St Mary's Old Church, Clophill, 10th or 11th century. Looks like there's some grave digging going on over there. Decent vista from the church. From this angle you can see that there's access there to the tower, which probably provides or affords splendid views. Interesting, we've got a wall of geology here, Bedfordshire rocks, and of course Tarmac get their advertising in. Still, no doubt they have sponsored it, saved themselves a bit of tax. Wonderful. Now this church went redundant in 72 officially, but I can't find any seats, so I might have to sit in the church and have my lunch, find something in there. 1:30, this wall will make a suitable place to sit on. And here's the vista from another angle. Okay, just gone 2 o'clock. Lunch has been had. I'm part in view of the redundant church. Temperature's dropped now. Maximum today was forecast to be 8. Obviously at 2 o'clock it's starting to drop off quickly. Decent vista. So, as it says there, this is one of the 6. Not much of a vista now though. Probably was when it was put there. Shards of sunshine breaking through the cloud over there. And I do believe Meppershall Water Tower on the horizon. And some lovely autumnal tints. It's ominously dark here though. Need to press on. Now following a permissive path into woodland, which will be lovely. Wonderful, but very quiet. No bird sounds at all. Yeah, worrying. You've got Pedley farmhouse through there into trees. This yellow post here. Follow it left, and now we've got an extensive walk through the woods, which is wonderful, mixed native woodland. This wood is Chicksands Wood on the OS map, and I can just hear raindrops hitting the leaves above me. Of course, not so long ago you wouldn't have been allowed in this wood for security reasons. I'm not sure if the Americans planted this wood to protect their communications tower or circle, but wouldn't surprise me. These trees don't look that old, i.e. beyond 70. Interestingly, in the middle of the woodland here you've got an obelisk. Let's go and see what it's all about. In memory of George Motagu-Dunk, Earl of Halifax. So you can research that on Google. Some wonderful toadstools here. So there we are, leaving Chicksands Woods. Now about to get onto the John Bunyan Trail. Forestry Commission managed this, so that's a state body, or was. So that implies, yeah, the Americans probably gave it back to us. Although I'll have to look at why the Earl of Halifax, the Dunk Earl, was involved. Now I do believe this is our onward journey, because Rowney Warren is where the bike tracks are. There's no indication that this is the John Bunyan Trail, which is unusual for Bedfordshire, because they're normally very good. Some lovely tints there in Rowney Wood. As we walk along this private lane now. So what I thought was Sandy Heath, in fact isn't, although Meppershall Water Tower is still there in the background. This is all part of the Chicksands complex, I believe, ahead of us, or what's left of it. Collection of old ploughs here, and I notice with the water there, farmer's been very good here and put those protectors up on the wires to stop wildlife flying into it. It's also close to the woodland as well, so hopefully that'll prevent birds flying into the trees, clashing with the wires. Very good. First indications here of the John Bunyan Trail as our onward journey is over the road straight ahead. Having left that very well organised farm behind us, and there's some good practice going on there, I notice. Nice thick hedges, fields being left to seed and so on. So there is the base at Chicksands. Of course you got RAF Henlow not too far distant from here either. Military housing. Now walking another section of Rowney Warren Wood. Unfortunately quite close to the A600 here, which is my road home. The greensand is very prominent in this woodland. Typical pines, gorse and ferns making up the vegetation. So I decided not to park in this car park because it closes at 4 PM, which is almost now. So parked elsewhere, as you can see there. So my onward journey is following the track. That's the GPS track. From the starting point that would be, but not for me, immediately opposite the car park. 3:45, eerily quiet in this wood, which is probably what you expect when there's a lot of humans around, which there isn't at the minute, but wildlife knows that normally there is, with all the cycling going on and what have you, although we haven't yet reached that part, I must admit. The A600 is further away at the moment, but you could still hear it. Almost back at the car park now, and there's one of the jumps that the cyclists use. Pretty much that's all their section in there. Us walkers are pushed to the roadside, as you can hear in the background. So 9 mile, 0.9 mile, so almost 10 mile in 3:58, just about 4 hours, and that's a very decent walk for my first North Herts Ramblers e-walk. So I should be, as I said earlier, doing a few more of those now the days are shorter, and it's certainly a wintry one today. I didn't realise earlier you had to pay to go in there. Anyway, as I say, a very pleasant walk. Not too bad on the foot. A couple of places where it's slippy and wet, but you know, what do you expect after wet weather? Lovely autumn colours around. Lots of variety really. Wooded, a bit bland in places with the big fields. But like I said earlier, in other walks, that's what you get in Hertfordshire, Bedfordshire area. So, until the next one, cheers. I just wanted to add that today's walk was dedicated to my friend Pat, who lost his faithful dog Gilly yesterday. 15 years or thereabouts. She had a few ailments, but loved walking, particularly on the South Downs. I did a number of walks with her over the years. So Gilly, hope you're bounding around after pheasants up there in the sky. God rest your soul.